Hi scientists! Today we are going to be doing an experiment that demonstrates the process of diffusion. To do this, we are going to make something called agar, which is a lot like Jello, but it's a little more solid and not quite as jiggly. We make agar by adding 2 cups of water to a microwave-safe bowl, and then I'm adding 2 tablespoons of my agar powder. You can buy this powder at some health food stores or grocery stores, but definitely it's available online as well. Now I'm stirring this in and we're going to microwave it. Now when it microwaves, you want to do this in 30-second increments for about 3 to 4 minutes, and you really want to make sure you do it in increments and that you watch it because it will boil over and it is hot, hot, hot. So now that it's dissolved, I'm pouring it into my casserole dish and I'm just kind of scooping out or pushing aside any bubbles or little bits. And after it's sat in my refrigerator for about an hour, it's nice and solid and I have cut out a heart shape. Once I have my shape, I'm using a straw to dig out just a little bit of a tiny hole. I'm not going all the way through the agar, I'm just making a tiny hole in the top surface of the agar so that I can put my dye in there. Now, the dye has a lot of really concentrated color molecules, and what we're going to see is that those molecules are going to spread out through this agar over time. The process of something moving from a more concentrated area to a less concentrated area is known as diffusion in chemistry. And so we have all these dye molecules that are very concentrated in a small area, and they are going to diffuse or spread out through this agar where there are less dye molecules and they are not as concentrated. Now, diffusion can happen at different rates, and I have another video showing how diffusion happens more quickly in hot water than cold water. And diffusion also happens at different rates when we are doing it in a different material, like this agar. And so the agar is a thick matrix, and it takes time for those dye molecules to navigate and move through that matrix. So it took me about 3 to 4 hours just to see a little bit of movement and diffusion in this experiment. And after I let it sit overnight, I could see a pretty significant movement of my dye, but it took about 24 to 48 hours before I really saw the dye move through the entire shape that I had cut out of the agar. So be patient with it, and if you want to do some experimentation on different concentrations of your agar, add less of the powder or more of the powder and see how that changes things. That could be a really fun experiment to do at home. I hope you get to try this, and until next time, keep discovering.